Jeff Petry, he continues to impress up until this point of the NHL season. He's scoring goals, he's providing assists, he's being physical, and he's pretty good at the defending thing too. Last week, we asked what impressed you all the most about his game. This week, I'm going to change up the question slightly here. Do you think Jeff Petry has a shot at winning the Norris Trophy this year?
I don't see why not. I mean, here's a guy that's almost playing 22 minutes a game. He's second in scoring in defenseman, and his overall game is excellent as far as what I see. I mean, he improved so much on his defensive side. If there was anything that I was going to be critical of before was a little bit of his softness in the defensive zone. But I think he's made great strides in improving that, and I think with time he's matured to understand his ability to jump in offensively, and the results speak for itself. He's contributing very, very well on the offensive side, and also very, very solid as a very good defenseman also. So I think it's without question his name has to be mentioned in the mix when it comes to one of the better defensemen in the league.
I think he has a chance, but the fact that he's a second pairing defenseman, I think, might work against him, and the fact he's not playing against other teams' top lines. Although Claude Julien said this week that he doesn't really he considers Petry and Edmondson and Sherrod and Weber as both sort of top pairing defensemen. Also, the fact there's just so many, there's so, like, I look at a guy like Victor Hedman, like, what an elite defenseman he is. Is Jeff Petry better than Victor Hedman? So I think that's going to come in with some of the voting, but I think he should be up there in the voting, and even possibly as high as the top 5. But again, a guy like Victor Hedman, if he has a good season, is tough to beat. He's a dominant force out there all the time.
Yeah, I agree, Stu. Like, even though Claude Julien says his pairings are like 1A and B, it's still second pairing defenseman. But you have to consider him because of everything that he's been able to do to start this season and how his game has improved as he's 32. Usually in the sports world, that's when things start to go down, but he's been doing the opposite. And I like this week, even when he was talking about just, what he learns when you're young, you want to make the play right away, but when you're older, it's take that extra second and make sure that you're making the right play. And that's been beneficial for him in able to score goals. And this is just great for the Canadiens if he can keep it up. I don't necessarily think he will be able to win the Norris, but if he's in the discussion, and it's a plus to the Canadiens.
Yeah, I mentioned before on this show just the impact that Luke Richardson has had on him as an assistant coach. And Petry spoke about it again this week, just saying how it's nice when you come back to the bench and you don't have the coach breathing down your neck after you've made a mistake. And, Luke Richardson's always calm, cool, collected. And Petry also spoke about how much that would help a young defenseman like Alexander Romanov, who's obviously going to make mistakes as a rookie, to have the calmness of Luke Richardson behind the bench. So, Jeff Petry, God, what a trade that was Marc Bergevin made for 2 draft picks to pick up Jeff Petry and then get him to re-sign here twice, not once, but twice. I mean, he signed the contract extension during this offseason. And as just mentioned, at his age, he just seems to keep getting better. And he's in incredible physical condition, so I don't worry about him starting to break down physically. I think he's going to continue to improve as this season goes on, and I think he'll be able to continue that level of play through this contract extension that he signed.
And I think he showed great poise from when he first came here to where he's at now. I mean, he's patient and he's an intelligent player, and we're seeing that at its best right now, that he's able to do a lot of things well, and I give him full credit for the kind of game that he's playing, and a huge asset for the Canadiens.
Yeah, when you speak with Jeff, he's such a soft-spoken, I mean, Jess will know this, he's a soft-spoken, intelligent, sort of cool, calm type of guy off the ice, and that's the exact same way he plays the game on the ice.
Yeah, that's exactly what you kind of need in a veteran defenseman like that as well. When you have young guys coming up, someone that's able to kind of calm the player down on the bench from his experience and also just from his demeanor as well.
And I'm sorry, I was saying, I touched on it before about the chemistry of pairings and how important it is to complement each other. And, Edmondson has been a great asset to allowing Petry to do what he does. And You have to give them credit as a pairing to be able to play the way they're playing, and always understanding where each other are on the ice, and try to make the right plays at the right time. So they're doing a great job.
Yeah, Petry had another interesting thing he mentioned this week about a tip he got from a friend of his wife who was a baseball player, who just happens to be Roger Clemens. There's a family connection there between Petry's wife and Clemens, about how after games, when he makes mistakes, he either writes it down in a notebook or in his phone what those mistakes were, and then he looks back at it and writes about different things he could have done to avoid making that mistake, and he sort of keeps a notebook of it. So that's really interesting, and it just shows you how he thinks the game, and how, as he has said in the past, he used to let mistakes really bother him, and one mistake would lead to 2, would lead to 3, because he couldn't forget about it. He's learned now how to forget about those mistakes and just move on.
And again, it's another classic example of how intelligent defensemen are.
I just want to say, I'm getting the sense that if all 3 of you had a vote, Jeff Petry would be getting votes for the Norris Trophy from all 3 of you. Am I correct?
And never trust the forward, right, Rick?
Very good, guys. Visit hockeyinsideout.com to check out our full episode and join the discussion in the comments section below. And let us know if you think Jeff Petry has a chance at the Norris Trophy this season.